of us might think, it's just a pile of junk. But to people like Jim, it's history, and they love restoring it to a working, operable, representative of what happened in Normandy. As time goes on, and the veterans pass away, artifacts like this will be all that is left. It's people like Jim and others who spend their time, money, effort, and even their lifestyle working on these machines to bring them back as part of living history. One of the first trucks Jim bought, an old GMC. It's not the one we went to Normandy in, but it's very, very similar. And it's little lovely beasts, they really are. There's some kind of wondrous insanity involved in this. All the time, effort and money to breathe life into what would have been a rusting piece of metal that would have just disappeared into the ground. It's what they do. And more power to their elbow. Our highly experienced, grizzled even, filmmaker is relegated to the kitchen doing the cooking. And you may be forgiven for thinking that that's all we do eat is bacon and eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's just a quick thing that we do now and then. Well, quite often actually, way too often.
You spend so much time getting everything done for everyone else. Stuff doesn't get finished there.
It's an M4 high-speed tractor, built by Alice Chalmers, and its purpose was to tow artillery pieces.
Well, that was sweet, wasn't it?
Absolutely lovely. It's a brand new engine. I found it in a crate in Utah. Everything we've owned, or we've got, has always been badged up something to do with 1st Infantry Division, Big Red One, yeah. So interested in them is the fact that they left from Weymouth, where we go to every year for the Veterans Festival. So the tank and that was marked up 745th Tank Battalion, because they were attached to 1st Infantry.
I've known Jim and this tank for many, many years. When he first got it, he dragged it off his firing range in Wales. It was a mess. Bits hanging off it, it was incomplete, there were holes, rust. It looked awful. People said it was a skip. But fair play, he has worked on this thing day in, day out.
The GMC, which is to my left, is marked up 32nd Field Artillery.
Oh yeah.
Because the short wheelbase Jimmies were used for towing 105 howitzers. So that it all ties in. The 110th were not directly attached to 1st Infantry, but they were with them on D-Day +1. I started off reading a book called Hitler's Crawling Coffin.
Hitler's Crawling Coffin?
Yeah, Driving Hitler's Crawling Coffin. About the lads who drove them, how they trained in America, came over on the Queen Mary, travelled down through England, past where I live at the moment.
Where did they land in England?
In Liverpool.
Liverpool?
Came in Liverpool.
Right.
And then travelled down, they trained, they're based down near Exmouth.
Well, that's a long old drive, isn't it?
Yeah. In the trucks, they did it in stages.
Yeah.
And then trained down near Exmouth, down that area.
Yeah.
And they went over D-Day +1. Some went from Weymouth, Portsmouth, or all along those the big ports along there.
Yeah.
Chocolate blocks.
Chocolate blocks.
Yeah, chocolate. Yeah. They would have gone from those ports. The 110th Anti-Aircraft Battalion landed on Omaha Beach, and then they moved inland and set up. And the most fascinating part about it is they were 110th were the first anti-aircraft battalion to shoot down a German plane on French soil. And the pilot was captured and he went back to England on the LST that they came over on.
Jim and the lads are still working on the gun. It's 8 o'clock at night now. The weather's not good, it's going to rain tomorrow. And there's a debate whether it actually will happen for Normandy. Behind me here is one of the guns that Jim's tractor would have pulled. The 90mm anti-aircraft gun. Hell of a piece of work. He's busy restoring it at the minute and was hoping to take it to Normandy, but international laws on taking guns across borders make things difficult. So that's not going to happen, but it's going to be on the road soon as a living exhibit. And for the young lads who used to work on and fire this weapon, life must have been extremely interesting. As through the door comes Laurel and Hardy.
Dumb and dumber. I'm going to give you a treat.
What's that?